Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Full Court Press. I am your host, Drew Duncan. Do not forget that Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram is all at Drew Duncan 83. Of course, you can always find me on YouTube as well. Simply search out Drew Duncan. And don't forget to look for the Full Court Press and our subsidiaries, the Full Court Press, football, basketball, and MMA. I want to get into Tyrone Woodley and Conor McGregor. This has been kind of going on, but the most recent part of the spectacle is Tyrone Woodley specifically saying on Twitter to Conor McGregor, "Quit being a bitch, let's fight." Just going for the gusto, bro. Oh my goodness. Oh, man, the stuff fighters say. Stop being a bitch, McGregor. First of all, to kind of preempt some of this, I mean, this has been going on for a little bit now, kind of flying under the radar with McGregor and Woodley. Back a couple of years ago when McGregor was getting ready to fight for his second belt, he was asked the question, would you, because, preface it by saying this. McGregor said that he wanted all the belts. All the belts. And so Tyrone Woodley was on the same podium. And so then a reporter said to Tyrone Woodley, or he asked him, hey, would you fight Conor McGregor? Would you defend against McGregor? And Woodley said, he ain't talking about me. And so then they went right back to McGregor and said, would you move up to welterweight and fight for a title? And McGregor said, I want all the belts. I mean, he made it pretty clear what he was talking about. Then, of course, things kind of amped up a little bit backstage. McGregor feeding Woodley some lip, right? Fast forward last year when McGregor's getting ready to fight Khabib, and Woodley says that the fight would make sense with McGregor. Then he also said that McGregor would lose to Khabib 99 times out of 100. So he's taking shots again at McGregor. And then, of course, there's this most recent episode where, again, I'll reiterate that he called McGregor a bitch and said, let's fight. But then he also said that McGregor shouldn't be worrying about what's going on in an octagon, that he's got all this other stuff going on too. Okay, so then why are you calling him out? Well, I'll tell you why he's calling him out, and it points to everything I just said, a couple of days ago on this program, and that is relevancy. Anytime anybody says anything with Conor McGregor's name in it, it is automatic relevancy in the fight game. Period. That's all it really boils down to. Look, a couple of days ago, I talked about the UFC. How would they survive without Conor McGregor? Because, and again, I'll just be really quick about this. Let's say none of this outside stuff ever happened. You put a lot of stock into one guy, right? Which is what happens. I mean, it's risk reward. And McGregor's a hell of a promoter all by himself anyways. It's not necessarily that he needed a Dana White. The point that I'm making is that let's say none of this ever happened, okay? What if McGregor would have got hurt? What if McGregor would have just said to hell with it? I mean, remember, after McGregor fought Floyd Mayweather, during that time frame, Dana White had confessed that he was afraid that McGregor may not want to come back. Now he's saying the same thing again by saying, I'm afraid that the longer Conor is gone, the less he'll want to fight. And when you look at that fight that McGregor had with Khabib, he didn't look into it mentally. His walk to the octagon was completely different. It really wasn't McGregor. He had such a normally what is a real sense of bravado, a very false sense of a confidence and bravado when he was getting ready to fight Khabib. He wasn't the same guy. He was definitely, I feel like he was definitely thrown off the last time that they fought. And so really there's only a couple of ways that this can really go. And the first thing that I want to get into is, again, the relevancy with McGregor. You've got people vying to fight him if he is allowed to come back and when he does come back. because you've got Woodley calling him out, right? You had just prior to that, a week before that, you had Nate Diaz. He said 185 ? And then Conor McGregor responded by saying exactly, you know me, mate, I don't give a fuck about the weight. Now you've got Tyrone Woodley. They were trying to put something together with Donald Cerrone beforehand. The word is that they couldn't agree on making it basically a co-main event. And so despite what anybody tries to say about whatever McGregor's got going on away from the UFC, the fact of the matter is they have an understanding that by saying his name, that they are guaranteeing themselves a potential position that they can maneuver into fighting Conor McGregor. And if they land that fight, then they know it is their biggest payday. And that's, Tyrone Woodley was a defending champion. He just recently lost the belt. Yes, I get that. And to the casual MMA fan, he's simply trying to make a name for himself. But the fact of the matter is that Tyrone Woodley still has a name to the MMA community, but he even understands that that's going to be his biggest payday. Nate Diaz, how many fights has he had since he fought Conor McGregor? Go ahead, I'll wait. Tony Ferguson was saying his name how long ago? And that brings me to my next point, which is simply this. It's respect for Conor McGregor. Because they understand that when you're dealing with McGregor, whether it's promotional-wise, in the octagon, whatever the case is, we're talking about a different level, man. Look, there's Conor McGregor, and then there's basically everybody else when it comes to the money game. The money game. Not the fight game, the money game. You understand that difference? And a win, catapulted. Hell of a fight, even in a loss, catapulted. Different level of fame, money, respect, all of it. And I think that they respect Conor McGregor enough to even, in Tyrone Woodley's case, saying, man, you got to deal with all this over here. What are you doing trying to figure this out anyways? Still saying his name going, when you come back, what's up? That's respect. Ultimately, that is respect. And for my money, McGregor Woodley, I'd probably watch it. It would be something different because I damn sure don't want to see another McGregor Diaz fight. The only other fight that I can really think of is McGregor Habib, but Habib's suspension is longer than McGregor's as of the moment. Of course, all this other stuff surrounding it is going to probably hinder a lot of this as well. The fact of the matter is just by merely saying his name, you're keeping yourself in the name of other people, and which really is great marketing on his end to begin with. So I am Drew Duncan, host of the Full Court Press. Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram is all at Drew Duncan 83. Share my posts. Don't forget to use the hashtag Don't You Dare Touch That Dial. And don't forget to look for the Full Court Press and our subsidiaries, football, basketball, and MMA on Facebook and Instagram. And of course, you can find yours truly, Drew Duncan, on YouTube. And as always, don't you dare touch that dial.